My name is Tony Reda. I am the president, CEO, and co-founder of Tectonic Metals. We trade on the TSX Venture, on the OTCQB, and also on the Frankfurt. What you're looking at here is a picture taken from our property, the Flat Gold Project. The slide states, not a marketing term. I would actually say that slide states our belief. We believe we have a Tier 1 mining opportunity. What does that mean? Well, as Newmont and Barrick define it, a Tier 1 mining opportunity is in a safe, predictable jurisdiction. It's 500,000 ounces minimum of annual gold production over at least a 10-year mine life, and the project or the production is situated in the lowest half of the cost curve of all-in sustaining costs. That's a pretty big bar, but that sets the stage for what we believe this project has the capability to deliver. In 2025, we had our most transformative year on record. We've only had this project for a few years, but we raised $34 million, we transformed the shareholder base, and we executed our largest drill program to date. We've encountered significant high-grade drill results, we've demonstrated widespread disseminated gold mineralization, and we tested some new targets, so there's more assays to come. I do draw your attention to our forward-looking statement slide. It is on our website. Please take the time to read it before making any investment decision. What Jeff was alluding to was yesterday's news release, almost 10 grams per ton over 35 plus meters. Within that was 15 grams over 22 meters and 104 grams over 3 meters. This was from an area that we have now identified a brand new high-grade corridor, and it's only one corridor. There's 5 other corridors on this property. It's 99,000 acres in size that we believe represent high-grade epicenters of the mineralizing system. We are in Alaska. We're also 40 kilometers away from one of the largest undeveloped gold deposits in the world. There's probably 2,000 juniors on the TSX, if that statement's correct, and I don't think anyone can say I have a 40 million ounce gold project next door that is 1 permit away from being in production. So that's the Donlin gold asset. It is a refractory deposit. We're on the complete opposite side of the processing spectrum. Our project is a heap leach opportunity. Heap leach mines have the potential to deliver some of the lowest all-in sustaining costs, lowest capex, pre-production capex to get a project into production. One thing to note, as we probably all aware, the U.S. has taken a very strong position, making Alaska the home of 2 executive orders, where they're going to fast-track production projects into production. And also one thing I would mention as well, Donlin, who's 1 permit away from being a fully permitted 40 million ounce gold project, announced an LOI to securing the natural gas for a pipeline coming into this belt. And secondly, they just yesterday announced a $200 million bought deal financing that got upsized to $300 million in less than 24 hours. That's the kind of attention the state is getting, and thankfully, we are in the same mineral belt. Did Mother Nature stop at just one 40 million ounce gold deposit? I don't think so. Also, I do believe our project can be a standalone. We wouldn't be exploring any project if we didn't think that was the case. You access our property, you can fly from Anchorage directly to site. You can land a Hercules plane directly on our project. That's the largest cargo plane available to man right now. We have roads that go to most of the zones, and we can connect to the commercial barging nearby. One of the things that separates Tectonic from many juniors is that we actually have Indigenous shareholders. And these are Indigenous shareholders that have actually invested their hard-earned capital into our company. So Tectonic takes the approach, we don't just look for projects, we look for mining opportunities. And if you want to walk the walk, if you want to talk the talk, you have to walk the walk. So to that point, we've partnered up with one of Alaska's largest for-profit native corporations. This is actually their land. It's an honor to be working on their land. We own the mineral rights 100%. They do have a royalty. This agreement or partnership has manifested itself across 5 projects in Alaska, the latest one being the Flat Gold Project. And about 3 years ago, they made an investment into our company, and they've continued that investment through the subsequent years, becoming our 2nd largest shareholder. So we're fully aligned on the advancement of this project. And in fact, we actually have a legally binding production agreement and an IBA agreement that was signed as part of the acquisition. This is our approach on our business model about de-risking projects and getting alignment, working together with communities, with Indigenous groups such as Doyon Limited. Our board and myself, our executive team, it's not our first rodeo. I've been in the industry for 20 plus years now. Our last, one of the last companies we've been involved with was Kaminak Gold Corporation. That project went from, had an asset that was never drilled before up until we landed on site, delineated 5 million ounces and sold it for 520 million. But what makes a good project is not just the ability to find gold. What we're here is to find mineable gold. So that means gold that's economic, gold that can be permitted, and you have to have the capital markets experience to do so. I've raised over 240 million in my career. Last year was 34 million, and so we have expertise on that front. I mentioned Donlin as one of the key reasons that kind of attracted me to this mineral belt. Well, the other driver for that attraction was the placer gold endowment. So this is gold found in streams and creeks. Those pink lines that you see there represent creeks that carry gold. Through the historic Klondike Gold Rush, this project was the third richest placer mining jurisdiction in all of Alaska, 1.4 million ounces of recorded gold, and these blue anomalies or these blue intrusion targets, each stream and creek draining out of that hill carries gold. So another marker that we're in a very gold-rich environment. The other marker, 176 drill holes. I'll repeat that, 176 drill holes drilled into this target called Chicken Mountain. It's not a mountain, by the way. And every hole has hit gold. That's a 100% drill success rate. I like to think that our team and myself were geologically smart, but we're not that smart. Mother Nature has blessed this property with a significant amount of gold endowment. Our job is to demonstrate to you what we have. We have 3 kilometers currently of drilled mineralized strike. Those blue boxes represent areas of high-grade mineralization that is completely open in every which direction. Alpha Bowl, the home of 650,000 ounces of placer gold. The Guggenheim family, the Guggenheim Museum in New York, actually had a dredge parked at Flat Creek. They mined that creek back in the 1902, 1910. The result that we announced yesterday, the bottom corner here in the roughly 10 grams over 35 meters, and so the list continues. Yes, there's a sea of low grade, and that's actually a good thing, because the metallurgy has demonstrated that low-grade mineralization can be processed via heap leach, and the Fort Knox mine in Alaska, which is our analog, actually processes gold as low as 0.3 grams per ton and is making a boatload of capital in doing so. Anyone can make 5 grams per ton work. How do you make 0.5 work? And how can it be economic? And that's the path that we're demonstrating with the heap leaching viability of this asset. If we look at it on a long section, what's driving a lot of the drill collar locations is the golden soil. That's the magenta, those contoured colors. This area is unglaciated, so the golden soil's mimicking the mineralization below your feet. What you'll also see in this image is that a lot of the golden soils have yet to be drill tested. We've drilled down to 400 meters in many areas, including Alpha Bowl. So you're now seeing 3 kilometers of drilled strike down to 400 meters, something that is currently in the width of, say, 400 to 600 meters, but a lot more expansion potential in every which direction. You can start to see the scale here. You can do a volumetric calculation. We have an analyst that covers us at 3L, and although I can't state their numbers, you can reach out to them and get access to the report. They've also done a DCF analysis on what the potential economics of this asset might be. If we zoom into Alpha Bowl, there's those high-grade intercepts that are completely open in every which direction. Alpha Bowl itself is 1 kilometer by 1.5 kilometers. So a lot more for expansion. Add it, another high-grade zone. There's that gold. I'll draw your attention to the plan map. 4 grams over 30 meters in that green dot in plan view with 8 grams over 13 meters, Completely open, 500 meters of soil yet to be tested. another high-grade inflection point. And to put 3 kilometers of context and scale, we have some analogs on the right here. And if you look at the Fort Knox mine, that's the shape that embodies a 9 million ounce plus producing mine. 2 kilometers of strike down to 500 meters. And then you get a sense in comparison to where our project or our Chicken Mountain target could be. To demonstrate just how early we are on this project, our asset, the Chicken Mountain Alpha Bowl, we've drilled 17,000 meters to date in this target. We don't have a mineral resource estimate yet that is slated for the end of 2026, but you can see something like Snowline, the width of their deposit, 700 meters in length, 400 meters in width, 53,000 meters concentrated in that area. Beautiful deposit. I ask you to imagine if Tectonic had 100,000 meters or 50,000 meters more of drilling, what could potentially be possible at this target? We had 18,000 meters last year. We delivered 4 grams over 20 meters, 2 grams over 40, 8 grams over 13, 3 grams over 30, 104 grams over 3, and 10 grams over 35 meters. We have 34 more holes pending to come. We're excited about the results. This is the timeline. 34 more drill holes, heap leach column test results, drilling starting early May, MRE, PEA. Backing us are some of the most prestigious gold funds in the world. Van Eck, Franklin Templeton came in for the first time last year. They don't typically play pre-resource. They obviously see the same thing that we see, backed by Crescat, backed by Indigenous shareholders, 12 million in the bank. Thank you so much.